Hi guys and girls. This video is a continuation of Data About Us Investigation 1.1. This is the comparing of US name lengths with Chinese name lengths. What I've done was I've taken all of the names that I put on my Word doc for Data About Us Investigation 1, the ones that I had to count the name lengths of and then put in the frequency table. And I wrote down the names of each person and the number of letters in their name. And then I put that name above the appropriate number on my number line here. And what I did was I actually made a bar graph out of the sticky notes, as you can see on my fake smartboard that I have over here. Since we're in quarantine, I had to be a little creative here for you. So this is something that I would normally do in the classroom with you. I would have you count the letters in your first and last name, write them on a sticky note, and then put them up on the chalkboard. Go old school here so that you can see what I'm about to do next. So one of the things I like to do is talk to you about what makes a graph. So right now, looking at our bar graph, we definitely have an x-axis, and we have a scale on our x-axis with an interval of 1, so it's just numbered by ones. But we are definitely missing some important information. And I would ask you to think about what information is missing. One of the things that we are missing is a definite title or label for our x-axis, and we're also missing a title for our y-axis and a main title. We also don't have a scale or intervals for our y-axis, and we need to think about what this graph is actually talking about in order to do that. One of the reasons that I did not label some of those things for you is because what I want to talk about is how to take this bar graph and turn it into a simple line plot. So I'm going to do that with you now, and I'm going to back the camera up a little bit for you here so that we have a better view. Okay, so a line plot is something that they talk about in Investigation 1.1 of Data About Us. And what that is taking your organized data, so it's already organized here in order, numerical order, and it's looking at how frequently things are in order repeated on your number line. And it's usually expressed with X's or other symbols such as a dot. And sometimes if it is expressed with a dot, it can also be called a dot plot. So when you're looking at a line plot or a dot plot, you will still see that you have a scale or an interval across your x-axis, and your x-axis will have a title, and you will also have a main title. So for my main title, I'm going to write down that I'm comparing US names, because that's what we're looking at here. And we could even put US student names. So I'm just going to write down here that I'm looking at US names. Wait till Mr. Gust comes home and figures out that I wrote on the wall with marker, huh? Okay. And then underneath for my x-axis here, I'm going to write down name lengths, because that's what my numbers down here represent. Okay. So name lengths, or name length. Okay. Now, in order to turn this bar graph into a line plot, I need to change these sticky notes into an X or a dot. So I'm going to start here with the 9s, and I'm simply going to remove the sticky notes and replace them with X's. And I'm going to do the same thing with every sticky note that I have on my bar graph here. So let me zoom in the camera to the graph so that you can see that. So I'm just removing a name and putting a sticky note. I'm sorry, removing the sticky note and putting an X. Okay, so pretty simple to do. I want to make sure that my X's are about the same size, same shape, okay, because I still want to be able to compare using this graph. One of the things that's really nice about this is after I've collected this data and I look at the graph, I can still easily compare like I would a bar graph. So I can still look at this information and I can look and see that 11 has the most data. So 11 would be my mode. It has the most. I can see that I don't have any information for 10. So there's no data for 10. There are no names that had 10 as a length. This is what we would actually call a gap in our data. Okay. I can look and see that the shortest name length was 9. The shortest name length is going to be my minimum data value. And I can also see that my maximum data value is 14 because 14 in the US name lengths in my set of data is the longest. Okay, and let's see, I'm even going to write mode here. Okay, so pretty cool. Just to get started, we have our x-axis labeled, a main title. I have changed my bar graph to a line plot. I also can see some really cool information like what appears the most, what is the least amount of data, the smallest amount of data, the largest amount of data, and then I even have a gap in my data. So what I'm going to be asking you to do, guys and girls, is to take a look at your information that you have for your class on your Google Doc, and you are going to create your own line plot for your class and for the Chinese data that you have. When you first open your Google Doc, you will see that I have included your answers for your class. So you can double check your answers first, and then you can continue from there. And when you're done, don't forget to submit to me your Google Doc so that I can check your answers to see how you're doing on your graph. And you do have some questions after that, some follow-up questions. So make sure that everything is complete before you hit submit. Any questions, please email me, or some of you could even Google Meet if you know how to do that. Okay, good to see you again. Thank you.